What happens when a niche comic book becomes the biggest hit on television? Attempts to cash in, that's what. And with that in mind, I give you my review of The Walking Dead video game. Why did it take so long? Because I played through and beat episodes 1 through 5. I have a PhD in procrastination, and I shot this some time ago, only to end up wiping that memory card. So if you thought my other reviews suck, wait till you get a load of this shit.
The Walking Dead, the game, whatever you may call it, from Telltale Games, is an adventure title set against the backdrop of a zombie apocalypse Georgia, as depicted in the Walking Dead comic series and on AMC's smash cable show of the same name. You play the role of Lee, a convict who, on his way headed to the slammer in a rather half-assed manner for a convicted murderer, finds freedom during the zombie outbreak. Questions are raised as to how the situation escalated so quickly as Lee awakes from a car wreck to find a world with nearly everyone already killed by zombies. He spots a figure in the distance, a young girl by the name of Clementine, who's separated by her vacationing parents. Lee takes in Clementine, establishing the central bond of the game as the two adventure through Georgia in search of survivors, supplies, and her parents.
Look, I don't know what happened, but I'll look after you until then.
The game itself is a 50-50 balance of game-rendered cutscenes, usually throwing 2 or more characters into an argument. Many of these arguments are interrupted with the other key component, quick-time decision-making. Lee is usually given 2 to 4 reactions to a given question with only a few seconds to react. Your call decides the course of the conversation, or even the fate of a party member. Freedom to explore is severely restricted, usually giving Lee just enough room to look for a key item or talk to the group. This is without a doubt the buggiest game I've played in years. At this point in a console's life, you'd think developers had found a way to maintain the frame rate, and you'd be dead wrong. The Walking Dead drops frames like Mr. Bean at the Royal Academy of Arts. Hope you like freeze frames when you have but seconds to respond to a command. Nearly every death I suffered, and they were few because, let's be honest, intense difficulty isn't something this game is leveraging, came from an attack I couldn't prevent because I was still looking at the previous screen. To remedy this, you're forced to play The Walking Dead disconnected from Xbox Live, as it's the tallying of decisions for which the game keeps score globally that are widely blamed for the gaffes. When was the last time you played a game that couldn't remember settings? Every time I start up, the brightness is cranked way down, making it impossible to see any detail. If you visit the settings, the game remembers where you had it last and allows you to proceed about your business. It's like when you're about to tell your wife, "Yo, woman, where's my sandwich?" And just when you reach for your crowbar, here comes the hoagie. Players are essentially fooled by the marketing blitz, with an interview in Game Informer proclaiming revolutionary freedom of branching stories. Yes, there are story-specific moments. For instance, and this may come across as spoilers, a sudden rush of zombies has Lee able to pass a loaded gun to one of 2 people, rescuing one and sealing the fate of the other. They will always be the same 2 characters, so you can either save Doug or Carly. I opted for Carly cause she's hot. Well, what do you know, the game allowed me to live out life with her for another episode before placing her in a certain to die you can't prevent this situation. And if you had saved Doug instead, he meets his comeuppance at the exact same time. So what the game is actually doing is allowing you to branch from a path so long as those branches inch their way closer to the original. This is nothing new in gaming whatsoever. Now, had Telltale allowed me to insist on saving Carly, if I did everything in my power to do so, she could have made it out alive, right? Or maybe this is a cautionary tale that zombie apocalypses aren't all smiles and sunshine. But that linear feel isn't limited to plot points. Often players have to walk Lee down a path with no ability to change directions, only a clunky pause animation that can leave him with a well-balanced foot. For all that it does wrong, there are 2 amazing strengths found in The Walking Dead. One, the voice acting is at the absolute top. Though sometimes played up by the obvious psychos, there isn't anything terribly unnatural to be found from any of the voice actors. And 2, even if you look back at the most beloved of zombie titles, you find that fighting zombies is never the pinnacle of fun. They tend to die the same way time and time again. However, in The Walking Dead, no 2 zombies die the same way. I've been sitting on this for a while, trying to convince myself that the accolades this game has received, Game of the Year being among them, are not due to the title alone. Right.
I'm not as impressed with this game as I should be given the illustrious awards bestowed upon it. I give The Walking Dead a 7.8.